Have you ever been insulted in front of others? Have you ever wondered why some people feel the need to bring you down publicly? Is it really about you, or is there something deeper going on? Before we dive into the psychology behind public insults and what Stoic philosophy teaches us about handling them, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. It helps us grow and bring you more insightful content. Now, let's explore 7 key reasons why people insult you in public, and more importantly, how you can respond with wisdom and composure. 1. They feel inferior around you. People have a natural tendency to compare themselves to those around them. Sometimes, these comparisons lead to admiration and motivation, but in other cases, they breed insecurity and resentment. When someone perceives you as superior in any way, whether it's in terms of intelligence, success, appearance, or even kindness, they may feel inadequate. Rather than addressing their own feelings of inferiority, they might lash out in an attempt to bring you down to their level. This is often where insults, sarcasm, and belittling remarks come into play. For example, if you are highly competent at work, a colleague who feels threatened might make snide comments about your efficiency or try to undermine your achievements. In social settings, someone who perceives you as more attractive or popular might throw passive-aggressive insults your way. Their goal is not necessarily to harm you, but to ease their own insecurities by making you feel smaller. This behavior can also manifest in family dynamics, where a relative may attempt to diminish your accomplishments because they feel overshadowed by your success. It's important to recognize that this behavior stems from their own struggles, not your shortcomings. When faced with such negativity, the best response is to remain composed. Responding with anger or frustration only gives them more power over you. Instead, try to acknowledge their feelings indirectly by maintaining confidence and kindness. Sometimes a simple, "I appreciate your opinion," or "I hope everything's okay with you," can be enough to disarm them. Additionally, it can help to redirect the conversation towards something positive or neutral, subtly shifting the dynamic away from negativity. However, if their behavior persists, setting firm boundaries and distancing yourself from such individuals may be necessary. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. If the situation occurs frequently, addressing it directly with a clear and assertive statement like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," can also be effective. At the end of the day, someone else's insecurity is not your burden to carry. Your worth is not determined by their words, and their opinion should not dictate how you see yourself. 2. They want to impress the crowd. Not all insults are born out of personal insecurity. In many cases, people insult others as a way to gain social validation. They may be trying to entertain a group, appear dominant, or assert their authority. Unfortunately, in some social circles, humor at another person's expense is rewarded with laughter and approval. This is especially common in school settings, workplace environments, and even among groups of friends who engage in playful teasing that occasionally crosses the line. For instance, someone at a party might make a cutting remark about you in front of others, hoping to appear witty or gain admiration. A co-worker might poke fun at you during a meeting, aiming to boost their own status. The reality is that these individuals are often more focused on their audience's reaction than on your feelings. This kind of behavior is also prevalent on social media, where some people engage in public shaming or sarcasm to garner likes, retweets, or comments from their followers. So how should you respond? The most effective approach is to refuse to give them the reaction they're looking for. If they expect you to be embarrassed or retaliate, surprise them with indifference. Respond with a calm smile, a neutral acknowledgement, or even a lighthearted remark that diffuses the situation. For example, if someone says, "Wow, you always take forever to answer emails," you might reply with, "I like to make sure I send thoughtful responses." This not only maintains your dignity, but also takes the fun out of their attempt to belittle you. Another strategy is to redirect attention away from yourself by shifting the focus of the conversation, asking a question, or introducing a new topic. However, if the insults persist or become cruel, it's perfectly acceptable to assert yourself. A simple but firm, "I don't appreciate that," or "I prefer if you didn't speak to me that way," can send a clear message that you won't tolerate disrespect. If the person continues their behavior despite your efforts, removing yourself from the situation or speaking privately with them about their words may be necessary. In extreme cases, especially in professional settings, addressing the issue with superior or HR representative may be the best course of action. Ultimately, true confidence comes from uplifting others rather than tearing them down. People who insult others for social gain often lack the depth of character to understand this. The best way to handle them is to stand firm in your self-worth and refuse to let their words shake you. In doing so, you take away their power and maintain your own integrity. Remember, you don't need to prove yourself to those who thrive on belittling others. The most powerful response is to live your life with confidence, kindness, and resilience. 3. They're jealous of your confidence. True confidence is a rare and powerful trait that not everyone possesses. It is the ability to walk into a room and command attention without demanding it, to hold your head high regardless of circumstances, and to trust in yourself even when others doubt you. However, this very confidence can make certain people uncomfortable. Rather than admiring it or seeking to cultivate within themselves, they may react negatively, attempting to undermine you in subtle or not so subtle ways. When people feel insecure, they often compare themselves to those around them. If they perceive you as more confident, self-assured, or successful than they are, they might experience envy. Envy is an insidious emotion because it often masquerades as something else: criticism, sarcasm, passive aggressiveness, or outright hostility. People who are jealous of your confidence may try to make you doubt yourself by nitpicking your decisions, mocking your ambitions, or dismissing your successes as mere luck. They do this not because you are unworthy, but because your confidence serves as a mirror reflecting their own self-doubt. The truth is, their words only hold power if you give them power. If you allow their negativity to seep into your mind, it can cause you to second-guess yourself. But if you recognize their behavior for what it is, an expression of their own struggles, you can rise above it. The key is to remain unshaken. When someone tries to belittle you, respond with unwavering poise. If they throw insults, refuse to react emotionally. When you do this, you expose their envy for what it truly is: a cry for validation from someone who lacks the self-assurance they see in you. One of the best ways to handle people who are jealous of your confidence is to stay focused on your own growth. Don't waste energy trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to see your worth. Instead, continue building on your strengths and pursuing your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you rather than those who seek to drag you down. Remember, confidence is not about proving others wrong. It's about knowing that you are enough regardless of what anyone else says. Confidence is a skill that can be cultivated, and those who truly wish to develop it will seek inspiration rather than feel threatened by others who possess it. If someone reacts negatively to your self-assurance, it often says more about them than it does about you. True confidence is not arrogance. It is self-acceptance and an unwavering belief in one's worth. When you embody this mindset, those who appreciate and respect genuine confidence will be drawn to you, while those who feel threatened by it will reveal their own insecurities. By maintaining your self-assurance and refusing to engage in petty disputes, you send a clear message. Your confidence is not dependent on external validation. In doing so, you not only protect your own peace, but also set an example for others to follow. The most powerful thing you can do is remain steadfast in your self-belief, knowing that no amount of external negativity can diminish the strength that comes from within. For they assume you won't fight back. Some people insult others simply because they believe they can get away with it. They see kindness, patience, or quiet strength as weakness, assuming that if someone does not immediately retaliate, they must lack the ability to defend themselves. Unfortunately, this misunderstanding often leads to people testing boundaries, assuming they can push you around without consequences. However, true strength does not always manifest in loud confrontations or aggressive reactions. Stoic wisdom teaches us that real power lies in restraint. Reacting emotionally to every insult or provocation means giving away control of your own mind. Those who hurl insults or attempt to belittle you thrive on eliciting a reaction. They want to see you flustered, angry, or defensive. When you refuse to give them that satisfaction, you strip them of their power over you. Your silence and composure are often the most powerful responses. When someone insults you and you do not react as they expect, it unsettles them. They're looking for validation through conflict, hoping to provoke a response that justifies their negativity. When you remain calm, you highlight the pettiness of their words and actions, making them question their behavior. That being said, standing your ground does not mean always staying silent. There are moments when speaking up is necessary, especially if someone is trying to cross a boundary or harm your reputation. However, the key is to respond strategically rather than impulsively. Instead of engaging in a shouting match, you can respond with confidence and logic, making it clear that you are not someone to be disrespected. A well-placed, firm response can be far more impactful than an emotional outburst. For instance, if someone continuously makes snide remarks about you in a group setting, you can calmly address them with a question like, "Do you feel better after saying that?" Or, "Is there a reason you feel the need to comment on this?" Such responses force them to reflect on their behavior without escalating the situation. Another powerful approach is using humor. If someone insults you and you respond with a witty remark or a light-hearted joke, you diffuse the tension while also showing that their words have no impact on you. This not only protects your peace, but also signals to others that you are in control of the situation. People may assume you won't fight back because they misunderstand the difference between silence and submission. Choosing to remain composed does not mean you are afraid or incapable of defending yourself. It means you value your peace over meaningless arguments. However, when necessary, you can stand up for yourself in a way that demands respect without losing your dignity. Ultimately, knowing when to stay silent and when to speak up is a sign of emotional intelligence. People may assume you won't fight back, but the reality is that your response, whether silence, humor, or strategic reply, demonstrate a level of strength they likely didn't anticipate. In the end, the most effective way to counter negativity is to remain true to yourself, unbothered by those who seek to bring you down. Strength is not about being the loudest in the room. It is about being in control of yourself, no matter what others do or say. 5. They want to undermine your reputation. Public insults are sometimes more than just impulsive jabs or careless words. They can be a calculated strategy designed to diminish your credibility. Whether in the workplace, social circles, or even online, some individuals deliberately set out to discredit you. Their goal? To plant seeds of doubt about your competence, character, or intentions, hoping to tarnish your image in the eyes of others. This tactic can be subtle, such as spreading misleading information, or blatant, like outright insults meant to humiliate you in front of an audience. Regardless of the approach, the intention remains the same: to erode your reputation and elevate their own standing at your expense. These attacks can be particularly damaging in environments where trust and perception play a crucial role. In professional settings, for example, a colleague who feels threatened by your skills or achievements may attempt to paint you as incompetent, untrustworthy, or difficult to work with. They might subtly question your decisions in meetings, spread gossip about your work ethic, or take credit for your ideas. Similarly, in social circles, someone might attempt to alienate you from mutual friends by exaggerating flaws, fabricating stories, or constantly making negative comments about you. It is important to recognize that such behavior often stems from insecurity, jealousy, or a personal agenda rather than any genuine reflection of your abilities or character. People who engage in these tactics frequently feel inadequate in some way and compensate by attempting to pull others down. Their need to control narratives and shape public perception suggests a deep-seated fear of being overshadowed. However, here's the truth. Your reputation is not defined by their words, but by your consistent actions. While their efforts may cause temporary disruptions, integrity and authenticity will always outshine manipulation in the long run. Those who truly know you, colleagues, friends, and peers who have witnessed your character firsthand, are unlikely to be swayed by baseless accusations or underhanded tactics. So, how can you handle these attacks effectively? First and foremost, resist the urge to react emotionally. Responding with anger or defensiveness can sometimes play into their hands, making it appear as though you have something to hide. Instead, maintain your composure and let your work and actions speak for themselves. When faced with direct confrontation, calmly address the situation with facts rather than emotions. If the person spreads misinformation, correct it with confidence but without hostility. Additionally, build and maintain strong professional and personal relationships. A solid network of allies can help dispel falsehoods and vouch for your character when needed. Surround yourself with people who respect and support you, as their opinions will carry more weight than the attempt of a detractor. In cases where reputational damage is significant, consider documenting incidents of slander or defamation, especially in professional settings. Keeping records of emails, messages, or conversations can provide evidence if you ever need to defend yourself against false accusations. If necessary, seeking mediation or professional advice may also be beneficial. Ultimately, reputation is a long-term investment. While others may attempt to undermine it through words and deception, the truth has a way of prevailing. Stay focused on your goals, uphold your values, and trust that your genuine character will stand the test of time. No smear campaign, no matter how persistent, can erase a well-earned reputation built on honesty, integrity, and consistency. 6. They feel powerless in their own lives. People who feel out of control in their personal lives often seek to exert control over others as a coping mechanism. When someone insults you in public, it may not be about you at all. It could be their way of reclaiming a sense of dominance in a world where they otherwise feel helpless. This behavior stems from deep-seated insecurities, frustrations, and a lack of fulfillment in their own circumstances. Understanding this dynamic can help you detach emotionally from their words. Instead of taking their insults personally, consider the possibility that their actions are more reflective of their own internal struggles than of your worth. This shift in perspective allows you to respond with empathy or, at the very least, with indifference, rather than becoming emotionally entangled in their negativity. The illusion of strength. When people feel powerless, they often seek ways to regain a sense of control. Insulting or belittling others, particularly in public, may provide them with a fleeting sense of superiority. It is a temporary and artificial form of power that masks their underlying feelings of inadequacy. This behavior can manifest in various ways, such as making sarcastic remarks, criticizing others harshly, or intentionally embarrassing someone in front of an audience. This kind of behavior is common among individuals who feel disregarded or undervalued in their personal or professional lives. They might be experiencing difficulties in their careers, facing relationship troubles, or struggling with their self-worth. Instead of addressing these challenges constructively, they project their frustrations onto others in an attempt to feel more in control. How this affects you. Being on the receiving end of public insults can be hurtful, but it is crucial to recognize that the words spoken are not necessarily a reflection of you. People who resort to such tactics are often dealing with unresolved personal battles. When you internalize their negativity, you give them exactly what they seek: control over your emotions, rather than reacting with anger or humiliation. Remind yourself that their words are merely an expression of their own pain. By maintaining composure, you deny them the reaction they crave and reinforce your own emotional strength. This does not mean allowing yourself to be mistreated, but rather choosing a response that serves your well-being rather than escalating the conflict. How to respond. Remain calm. Responding with anger or defensiveness only fuels their behavior. Instead, take a deep breath and maintain a composed demeanor. Use empathy. Recognize that their insults stem from their own struggles. If appropriate, respond with kindness or a neutral statement like, "I hope you're doing okay." Set boundaries. If someone repeatedly insults you, it is important to assertively communicate that their behavior is unacceptable. You can say, "I don't appreciate being spoken to this way," and walk away if necessary. Don't take it personally. Remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. Visualizing a barrier between their negativity and your self-worth can help you remain unaffected. Avoid retaliation. Engaging in an argument or attempting to insult them in return will only escalate the situation. Keeping your dignity intact is more powerful than lowering yourself to their level. Breaking the cycle. People who feel powerless and resort to insulting others may not even be fully aware of their behavior. They're often stuck in a cycle of negativity, using others as emotional outlets rather than addressing their own issues. If possible, encourage them to seek healthier ways of coping, such as therapy, journaling, or open communication with loved ones. At the same time, it is important to recognize that you are not responsible for fixing someone else's struggles. Your role is to protect your own mental and emotional well-being while navigating interactions with such individuals in a way that minimizes harm. Understanding that people who insult others in public are often grappling with their own sense of powerlessness can help you navigate these situations with greater confidence and emotional resilience. Instead of seeing their words as personal attacks, view them as misguided attempts to assert control. By maintaining your composure and choosing not to engage in their negativity, you preserve your self-respect and demonstrate true strength, something they're still searching for themselves. 7. They want you to lose control. One of the biggest reasons people insult others publicly is to provoke a reaction. Insults are often less about the content of the words and more about the emotional response they trigger. People who engage in public insults typically seek to manipulate your emotions, draw you into an unnecessary conflict where they hold the advantage. The moment you respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, they win. The focus immediately shifts from their inappropriate behavior to your reaction, making you appear as the irrational one. Think about it. How often have we seen someone insulted publicly, only for their aggressive reaction to become the main talking point? This happens in personal interactions, on social media, and even in professional settings. The aggressor's initial insult fades into the background, and all anyone remembers is how the target exploded in anger or struggled to defend themselves. This shift in perception is precisely what the insulter wants. They aim to control the narrative and make you look bad in the process. When emotions take over, it becomes easy to say or do something regrettable, playing right into their hands. But here's the secret. When you refuse to react, you rob them of their power. Your silence, composure, and calm demeanor strip them of the satisfaction they seek. It forces them to confront the emptiness of their words and, more importantly, exposes their immaturity to others. When you remain composed, you demonstrate strength, intelligence, and emotional maturity, qualities that cannot be easily attacked or discredited. The person who remains calm in a storm always has the upper hand. The psychology behind their actions. Why do people resort to public insults in the first place? There are several psychological reasons behind this behavior. Insecurity and projection. People who insult others often project their own insecurities. By attacking you, they divert attention away from their own flaws. Their insults might be a reflection of what they fear in themselves. Desire for attention. Public insults draw eyes to the person making them. Some people thrive on drama and conflict because it makes them feel important or powerful. They may not care if they are seen as a villain, as long as they are seen. Social validation. Insulting someone in front of an audience can be an attempt to gain approval from peers. In some cases, this behavior is used to establish dominance in a social hierarchy. People may laugh along or cheer them on, reinforcing their negative behavior. Control and manipulation. Some individuals use insults as a way to control the emotions of others. If they can make you react, they feel in control of the situation. They want to dictate your emotions and responses rather than allow you to remain level-headed. Lack of emotional intelligence. People who frequently insult others often lack self-awareness and emotional control. They may not understand how to express their frustrations in a healthy way, so they resort to belittling others instead. Understanding these motivations allows you to see the insult for what it truly is, a reflection of the other person's issues rather than a statement about you. Their words only have power if you allow them to. How to respond effectively. Now that we understand why people insult publicly, the next step is learning how to handle these situations without compromising our dignity. Here are a few strategies. Remain silent. Silence is a powerful tool. By refusing to engage, you deny them the reaction they crave. A lack of response makes their attempt at control ineffective. Respond with humor. A light-hearted joke can defuse tension and show that you are unaffected by their words. For example, if someone insults your intelligence, responding with, "I guess I'll have to ask my cat for tutoring," keeps things light and avoids escalation. Acknowledge without emotion. A simple, interesting perspective or noted dismisses their insult without escalating the situation. It acknowledges their words without allowing them to dictate your emotions. Walk away. Physically removing yourself from the confrontation can prevent further escalation. Sometimes, disengaging completely is the best option. Use Stoic principles. Remind yourself that external events do not control you. Only your response matters. Insults are just words. Your reaction determines their impact. You have full control over whether or not their words affect your mood. Shift the narrative. If an insult is delivered in front of others, use the opportunity to redirect the conversation to something more constructive. Instead of reacting negatively, you can say something like, "Let's focus on what actually matters here," which subtly exposes insulters' immaturity. Recognize the power of indifference. Indifference is often more powerful than confrontation. When someone sees that their words do not impact you in the slightest, they lose interest in continuing their attacks, turning insults into opportunities. One of the most empowering realizations is that insults can be transformed into opportunities for personal growth. Every time you successfully resist the urge to react emotionally, you strengthen your self-control. Each insult ignored is a victory over negativity. Moreover, your ability to remain composed in such situations sets a powerful example for others. Instead of focusing on the insult, ask yourself, what does this teach me? Maybe it's a reminder to stay centered, an opportunity to practice patience, or even a way to recognize patterns in negative behavior. The more you train yourself to remain calm, the less insults will affect you in the future. You can also use these situations to refine your emotional intelligence. Learning to navigate confrontations without allowing them to dictate your state of mind will benefit you in every area of life, from relationships to career advancements. People admire those who can stay cool under pressure. Public insults reveal more about the person delivering them than the one receiving them. By understanding these motivations and embracing Stoic principles, you can rise above petty attacks and maintain your inner peace. Insults lose their power when you refuse to engage, and in doing so, you reclaim control over your emotions and your reputation. Every time you choose not to react, you strengthen your self-discipline and resilience. If you found this insight helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more discussions on personal growth and self-mastery. And let us know in the comments, how do you handle public insults? Let's start a conversation. Stay strong, stay wise, and remember, your reaction is always within your control.